Sheikh Mohammed, it's very good to see you. We're here in your office in Doha, where you've been dealing with ballistic missiles, you've been dealing with drone strikes from Iran. Just how difficult a period has this been for Qatar?
Well, unfortunately, it's been like a very difficult period for the entire country. But, we have our defense and security personnel has been doing a great job in defending the country and its people, citizens, visitors, and residents who are here. They have demonstrated a professional way in dealing with all these threats that's coming from Iran. Of course, these attacks on the Gulf countries in general, plus Jordan, Turkey, Azerbaijan, we never expected this to come to us from our neighbor. We were always building this relationship in preserving the good neighborhood and relationship in a good faith with Iran. Unfortunately, there are like some justifications and pretexts that they've been using to justify these attacks on the state of Qatar and the other countries, which is totally rejected, and no one will be able even to justify them. It is definitely not an easy period, not only for the state of Qatar but for the entire region. But the entire region showed unity, resilience, and we are going to continue defending our countries.
You just mentioned there that you have always tried to maintain diplomatic relations with Iran. Certainly Qatar has, and they've tried in many ways to maintain those relationships despite Iran facing global isolation. Do you feel betrayed?
Well, of course, it is a big sense of betrayal. This is the second time. That's why it's also like for us, it's been something really significant to see the attack, which was showing that being pre-planned. Like once the war started, just maybe an hour after the start of the war, Qatar and the other Gulf countries being attacked right away. And all of us before this war, and repeatedly we've been saying and repeating that we are not going to take part of any attacks or any wars against our neighbors. We would like to see a peaceful neighborhood. We were helping Iran and the United States in reaching diplomatic solutions. But this miscalculation by the Iranians to attack the Gulf countries has destroyed everything, actually. We would be like the glimpse of hope to bring some diplomatic solutions to the current conflict, and to be attacked by one of the parties of that conflict. We will prioritize, of course, defending our country and making sure that our people's lives goes normally, and they, as much as possible, they don't feel these threats coming to our countries.
You say it was pre-planned. Were you surprised by how much it's escalated?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it wasn't expected to see this amount of ballistic missiles, drones flying to the region, flying to Qatar, and talking about my country and the attacks that we got. There are claims that they are attacking military targets, and the attacks were not only military targets. They targeted civilian infrastructure, they targeted energy infrastructure, they targeted different Qatari assets. And in some of the attacks that being launched to like civilian areas, which is a reckless act by the Iranian to do such a thing, with that significance. Now, we have seen that we have the capability and we have the personnel to make sure that the country is defended, that none of the people is affected by these attacks. But these are dangerous miscalculations, especially when you talk about energy infrastructure. We will never accept that for our country nor other country. Even Iran, we do not want to see their civilian infrastructure or energy infrastructure attacked. This has been our position in Russia-Ukraine. This has been our position in Gaza. This is our position in what's happening currently, and it will be applied everywhere. But from the second day, actually, one of the major attacks that they made was against the gas facility, which created a great level of danger that forced us to declare force majeure and halt the operation in that field.
And I want to get to that in a moment. In the last 24 hours, 36 hours, Iran's president said that they would stop attacking neighboring countries. And then within hours, I was here, we heard missile interceptors and explosions over the skies of Doha. Why did this unravel when there was a sense that there would be some kind of de-escalation?
Well, honestly, when all of us, I think, watched the statement by the president, everyone was hopeful. I mean, including us, in our position, that even right after he made his statement, we had an attack like 10 minutes later, and I was thinking that this will take some time in order to ensure that everyone had the instruction to halt these attacks. But we got really shocked when the attacks were massively against UAE, Bahrain in the afternoon, while we were working actually at the same time with other GCC countries to come out collectively, expressing our that this is what we want to see. We would like to see what the president said in action, and our countries don't want to be part of this war, and we would like to see them stopping right away, and we will always prefer a diplomatic solution. But while we were discussing that with other GCC colleagues, they were under attack. And while the last hope we had was just before attacking Bahrain, and we have seen the massive attack that happened to Bahrain at the same moment. And half an hour later, the attack happened to Doha.
And GCC countries have put out statements telling Iran to stop. Certainly, Qatar, you've made it clear that you will defend your country. Do you feel that you will be put in a position where you'll have to retaliate, go on the offensive?
Well, actually, we preserve every right to defend our country. We are going to deter any threats. With this principle, we have zero tolerance. We are not going to accept to be attacked and to stay like this. We are not part of this war. We don't want to be part of that war. We don't want to be dragged into it. But defending our country will remain a principle that will never change. We will take every measure, we will take every action to ensure that no attacks coming to us.
The language we're hearing coming out of the United States, total surrender, from the Iranians saying we can fight for another 6 months. Where do you see this heading? Are the objectives clear to you?
Well, honestly, when the objective, I think, remains with the countries who who've been party of this war. And I think that from our perspective, our position and our principle will never change, that war always ending around the negotiation table with a diplomatic solution. And all of us, we would like to see a de-escalation in the region as soon as possible. What's happening right now in the region is very dangerous, and it's not affecting only the regional security, but affecting actually the global security and stability, the global economy. And you've seen the impact of what's happening here in the GCC on the global economy, whether it's from the energy point of view, logistical point of view, even for this small spot in the world. The GCC is a major transit hub for the entire world. There are between Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai only around 350, 360 million passenger passing throughout the year. All this has been disrupted because of this shake-up in the security of our region. The energy, Qatar alone supply 20% of the LNG of the world. That's when we were attacked. The first day we had to halt the operation. that impacted the prices globally dramatically. Then if you look at our other industries, like the downstream industries, for example, the fertilizers, the second day they attacked the industrial complex, which also forced us to shut down a lot of factories, a lot of manufacturing plants that we have in the downstream, including the fertilizer. Qatar is the second biggest, largest producer of urea, and it represents 10% of the global market. This will affect the food, the agriculture, the food supply, the food security of many countries who are relying on Qatar supplies. The helium, which is a main component for medical equipment, 35% of the helium of the world is produced in Qatar. I'm just talking about one country, and every other country in the GCC has its unique advantage in one of the things that the entire world needs. So this matter, what's happening right now in the GCC, is really something that's affecting regional security and the global security.
This does sound like, as you say, a disaster for the world. It's not just about the region.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we have seen what are the cascading effects of this escalation, and we are just a week from this conflict. And we need to ensure first that Iran should stop all the attacks against the Gulf countries and the other countries that they are attacking, and they are not party of this war. We need to seek a way to de-escalate the situation and to find diplomatic solution whenever it's possible. We would like to ensure that also Iran and the threats that they pose to us is cleared also in any solution, and really being thought of in any future solution. We cannot remain like this, especially after this event, and staying silent while missiles are directed to us. And of course, the way it started right away after the war started, it was showing that these missiles were directed to us at the end of the day. And why would they use it? We are not hostile countries toward them. We've been always trying to help and to support any efforts to find a diplomatic solution to lift the sanctions. We would like to see the Iranian people flourish. We know that, at the end of the day, the Iranian people who are the ones affected by all these turmoils, and we would like to see them stable, we would like to see them peaceful, and we would like to live in peace with them.
You mentioned there halting gas production and the impact it has globally because you supply 20% of global gas. In terms of energy infrastructure, do you anticipate that they will continue to target energy infrastructure?
Well, actually, there are daily, the first day we had an attack that hit one of the facilities within the energy complex, and it was, it was kind of like heaven from God, like it was protected and it didn't created the damage. That was managed, and until now, the other damages are assessed. But there are, on a daily basis, around 40% of the attacks are targeted toward energy facilities. Around 25% of the attacks targeting civilian facilities. Around 35% of the attacks targeting military facilities, including, I'm talking about civilian facilities, including the international airport, being targeted many times. Even drinking water storages being attacked. So what this has to do with, with the war, or what they want to achieve by attacking all these things that belongs to the Qatari people. It doesn't, belongs to the government, or even if anyone will use their pretext that it's an American interest. What's the American interest in drinking water in Qatar?
You're one of the few global leaders who's talking to both sides, the Americans and the Iranians. What is your message to both sides? Well,
actually, first of all, our message to the Iranian, they have to stop the attacks right away. It should stop instantly. What happened is really a huge shakeup for the trust in the relationship that we have with Iran. We will continue talking to the Iranians. We will continue trying to seek de-escalation. At the end of the day, they are our neighbors. It's a destiny. My message to them is you shouldn't include or involve any of the other countries in this war, in order also to be able to be helped in de-escalating the situation. If these attacks are ongoing, there will be no one able to help them or to even to start voicing some reason, because everyone is busy engaging in defending their countries. For the US, we would like to see a de-escalation. We would like to see an end for this conflict, a diplomatic solution that addresses our concerns as well as their concerns.
Much has been made about the UK and Europe's response or the lack of. What's your take on how they have reacted to this conflict?
Well, honestly, from our perspective, all our European partners has been providing us with significant support, whether it's politically, whether it's in any of the supply chain issues that we have. United Kingdom has provided an outstanding support for Qatar. We have the joint squadron working together with our pilots, and we are very grateful for this partnership and for this alliance. I don't know why they say that Europe doesn't do anything, maybe on the general level, but on the level of bilateral relationship with us and with other GCC partners, we have seen them demonstrating a great friendship.